And we're back. Salty Locks, episode 47. After a long hiatus, this is the second episode back. If you're just tuning in, welcome. And if you're a longtime listener, thank you for the support. Also, guys, if you're new to the channel, there's about 45 episodes to catch up on. So if you're bored and you're on a long drive and you go like, hey, man, I wonder if there's something I could listen to your boy. I got a bunch of episodes already in the can. They may be a little old, but I promise you the stories are timeless. All right? So go back, listen to those ones if you haven't got caught up yet, and then tell me, we need more. We need more. Because if you listen to a podcast like I listen to a podcast, I'll just put it on a road trip. I'll just have it playing in the background there. And sometimes I'll agree. I'll go, I do that too. I'll think that, in the pod when somebody says something that I can relate to. So you guys comment and let me know when that happens for you. All right. Guys, I'm happy to be back. This is our second week. I was just in San Francisco. And if you want to hear about some of my tour dates, guys, always you can go to AMIRCOMEDY.com and that'll tell you exactly where I'm going to be and what tour dates I have coming up. And I'm constantly adding to that. So if you don't see your city yet, it will be there. Trust me on that. We're working on it. Also, you can comment to tell me like where to come to. I have, by the time this comes out, Grand Comedy Club in Escondido. Escondido. And that's in San Diego County. So if you live in San Diego, I was just at the La Jolla Comedy Store. Beautiful turnout. So many great people. I had done Front Wave Arena with Theo in Oceanside. And that show was incredible. So if you came to that show, come back and see me in Escondido, man. We're going to have a great time out there. And those dates are November 21st and 22nd. That's a Friday and a Saturday. I'll be doing 4 shows over there. Then after that, I have Chicago coming up, I believe, in December. And then we just added one of my favorite spots, which is so random, Casper, Wyoming, the Rialto Theater. Out in Casper. Now, we did some venue. That was also another Theo show that we did some arena there. And, dude, the number of people that came out to that show, it was like 10% of the Wyoming population. It was crazy. But there's only 4,000 people in Wyoming. And maybe that's why. But, yeah, the population is not very big in Wyoming. But I forget, it was like some crazy amount that of the people that live in Wyoming came to the show. So then like a few months after that, I did Casper, Wyoming. On my own at Rialto Theater, and the turnout was incredible. So we're coming back. Hope to see you guys there. If you live in Casper, Wyoming, horse country, farm country, Native American country. They have some cool stuff there, dude. It was funny. We went to a museum in Casper, and it's like one guy works there, and he's like, this is a covered wagon. This is a covered wagon from back in the day. And you just look at it for 2 minutes, and you go, all right. And he goes, make sure to visit our gift shop. I go, that's it? That was the whole tour? He said, yeah. We got hats over there. They got raccoon tails on them. I said, brother, that's for them in the Alamo and Davy Crockett. Why are you selling that shit here? And he goes, don't ask me questions. We got it in bulk. So I got a good price on it. So if you want one, pick one up. If not, go on and get the hell up out of here. Dude, sometimes I think I have mental issues. Do you guys think so? Talking to yourself in a studio with young backs off in the corner doing fucking Sudoku puzzles. Do you know how crazy that is? And I got to keep on talking to you. Maybe we should cut this part out, Backs. I'm just kidding. We're keeping it in. Look, guys, this last weekend I was in San Francisco. If you came out to those shows, thank you very much for showing up. A bunch of people came out to Cobb's Comedy Club on Columbus in downtown San Francisco. Is it downtown? No, it's North Beach. Little Italy. Try to say that fast a bunch of times. Right now, if you're in a car, say Little Italy. Very hard to do. But yeah, dude, North Beach, very fun club. Actually, not my favorite room, to be honest with you. And I forgot because when you do stand up, the room is so important. The way that it's shaped, the how high the ceilings are, all this stuff affects how the show is, especially for me, because I'm super a reactive, emotional performer, you know, so I give what I get. You know, it's weird. If I'm feeling weird energy, I always say it, which I don't know if it's to my detriment or it's a good thing, but I always like, at least I'm in the room. At least I'm like present and I react the way that I feel like I should in that moment. So the Cobb's room was funny. The first night, Friday night, it was my first time back at Cobb's in a couple of years because I would do the Punchline sometimes. That's their other comedy club there. And that club is made for comedy. I mean, it's tiny. It's like a little box, right? And that's what you want for stand-up. Low ceilings, really tight. And everyone feels like they're grouped together. You know, you don't feel disjointed or anything. And you feel real connected. So rhythm in there is really easy to catch. And rhythm in stand-up is very important. You know, when you get a laugh going and you keep them on that thing. Ha, 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 hoo, 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 hoo. Like every so often you get that little rhythm going and it's like da 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 laugh, da 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 laugh, da 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 ooh, da 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 laugh. You feel me? Something like that. So rhythm to catch in Cobb's was very hard for me to get used to on that first show. And then of course I keep acknowledging it. And then some people they don't know it's part of the show. Sometimes when I'm like, oh man, this is the worst show I've ever had. And they come up after and they go, that was the worst show you've ever had. Well, just give us a little leeway. I'm like, dude, I was just kidding, man. I'm just having fun with it. And sometimes my sarcasm may go over some people's heads. And it does. My whole life that's happened. But yeah, dude, San Francisco was fun. Took my first Waymo. First Waymo ever. And I don't know what happened, but like, dude, I thought I would be, and I don't know, have you ever taken a Waymo and you're like your first experience taking a Waymo? Let's talk about that. Because I got in and I thought I was going to be like, oh, fuck, there's no one driving. There's nobody driving. I thought I would be all freaked out and stuff. And I got in there and like really quickly and it was like, doo, doo. It had this like real smooth, soft music, like put you at ease. I bet you they're spraying some sort of chemical in there to get you real comfortable. That's my conspiracy theory. Because I got in there, dude, I was so chill. I was like, dude, take me wherever you fucking want to, man. I was relaxed in there. And I thought I was going to be the total opposite. I thought I was going to be in there and I was going to be all shook up like there's no one driving. And I thought it went pretty smooth. It drives like an actual person. Like I didn't think, you know, it actually makes all the things that you like, the little stutter steps and stuff you may do when you're driving. But it did freak out. We went to this area by the Golden Gate Bridge where I guess it's kind of like, you know, they set up cones and stuff and you have to kind of go through a parking lot. So it's not super clear as to how you got to drive through there. And as a human, you got to kind of look and make some decisions, right? So this thing's got cameras and it's kind of wigging out because like, well, fuck, there's a cone. Oh, shit. And then there was like a traffic officer or something guiding traffic. And then it freaked out a little bit at that. It was like, well, it started to stop as if it was like a pedestrian in the street. So that was a little up, right? I was like, oh shit. So if you just like dart out in the street, then I started to think like, if it gets in an accident, what's the protocol? You know, I mean, I'd have to do a little research on this. And if you know, write it in the comments. What's the protocol? If a Waymo gets in an accident, does it pull over and be like, give me your insurance? I would like to know your insurance information. Or how do you like, what happens? Or I'm sure it gets you on camera. Like if you rear end that bitch, you got you on camera going, and it's got your face and you can't argue that in court. Like this is you plowing into the rear of this Waymo. You know what I'm saying? Can't argue with that in the court of law. So that's all taped. But what if it's its fault? If it's its fault? If it's the Waymo's fault, then what happens? Or is it like impossible for the Waymo to make a mistake like that? I guess I'm trying to remember the animal. Was it a cat? A Waymo ran over like one of these cats' backs. It ran over a cat, so like, and it became like big news. And there was a bigger cat from what she told me, and it kind of people are pissed off.
Yeah, I'm seeing this San Francisco. It was a beloved bodega cat. It was
There
a
you go.
neighborhood icon cat.
That's
named
what
Kit
it was.
Kat that was killed by a Waymo.
Damn. So that's why everyone's up in arms about the Waymos, but they're going strong, dude. I was sitting there, we were having breakfast, and I'm like looking, dude, there was like 100, dude, I must have seen 100 Waymos sitting, you know what I mean? It was like New York City in the heyday of cabs. That's what it felt like. And I was like, shit, dude, they're taking over, bro. And another thing I saw that was crazy was this company, and if this is AI, it fooled the shit out of me. It was a company that like brought this robot in and it was roasting the people that work there. Right? Like it was like, oh, I'm going to take your job. Like and it was crazy. And it was like a robot and they were all laughing at it. And I'm like, dude, this is like not funny because in 5 years, this is probably going to be the real shit, you know, where the robot's like taking your job and then talking shit to you while you're clearing your desk. You know, it's like, you couldn't do it. I can do fucking the work for you and 5 other people at the same time. And I don't need to even get paid. It's a one-time fee to purchase me or whatever the hell else he would say. But I was like, fuck, if they're starting off this mean already, we are fucked. If that's how they're just setting him out there and going, ha, 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 roast the employees. But I don't know, that tripped me out. I think this AI is going to be the end of us, dude. It's a can of worms that we should not have opened, but it's too late. And if you're not on board, it's like you're kind of like behind the times, you know? Everybody's using ChatGPT. Kids aren't even going to school anymore. It's all ChatGPT. Everything. It's fucked. We're fucked. What else, man? Shit. Oh, we went to the Golden Gate Bridge. If you haven't been to the Golden Gate Bridge, dude, that's one of those, I feel like that should be like a wonder of the world. How they build this shit over like this vast body of water. And you're like looking like, how the fuck did they do this so many years ago? Forget what year it was, 19 something, early 1900s. They built this fucking bridge. You're like, what the fudge? How? Suspension bridge. And it like, it can like move if there's an earthquake or if there's like heavy winds, you could feel it moving. It's just incredible to look at it. And the whole Bay Area is really beautiful. I remember there was a time where it was really like sketchy to be there. Like everybody was getting their cars broken into. People would leave their trunks open just to show there's nothing in there. And then I asked the valet guy, I was like, hey dude, is it safe to leave your car here? Like these days? And he's like, oh yeah, it's changed a lot because they had that rule where if you robbed or like stole up to $900, the cops wouldn't even come. So people were just like breaking into cars and stealing shit, hoping it was less than $900 or causing less than $900 worth of damage. Which if you break a freaking windshield or a side window, that's already up there. So I don't know how the hell they were doing that, but I guess no one was responding to everything. You want to fucking defund the police? I'll show you defund the police. Not to get political backs. But yeah, that guy said that was going on. And it did feel way safer, but it also felt way emptier. When we were there walking around, a lot of stores, like iconic places were gone. Like you'd walk around like Fisherman's Wharf or something and stuff I remembered from being a kid and going up there and visiting like my cousin and my niece and stuff. Those things weren't there. It was like for lease. And it was like this old restaurant that would be there for years. So I don't know what the hell is going on. But people are getting priced out too. And then I went, like Sunday, I had a day off. So, and I went with my girlfriend up to the Bay. So we went and visited my cousin and she lives in Vacaville. And her mom was there, who's my aunt. And so we got to hang out there and just like actually spend time, which I don't do a lot, you know, spending time with family. And you forget how important that is. You get stuck in this like work or whatever mode you're doing. And it was just so nice. We just like sat out there in the backyard and just talked for hours. You know, it was really cool. And then she brought out old albums, dude, like picture, you know, albums from, which is another thing we don't have anymore. You don't have picture albums. Like everyone's just got all these photos in their phone. But no one's like, you're not going to sit there and look through, you know what I mean? It's weird. You don't like show people or go, because every day of your life is pretty much documented in this phone. But this was cool. It was like, she broke out the photo album and it's like, it was like big events, you know, like her wedding was in there. And then I'm in there as a little kid and she's like holding me. There's a picture there. That's her. In Iran with the bowl cut, side bowl cut, brother. That's what I was rocking back then, dude. But anyway, what a trip, dude. And then those were just moments. Like, so when you had a camera, you just took a picture for that day or that event. So like there's a bunch of pictures of that one event. You know, now it's like, fuck, every day. If I look at my phone, I could put like December 12th, you know, 2015, and I'll have like 100 pictures in there.
In a city where traffic thinks for itself, your cat deserves gear that thinks for them. Introducing Paw Shield, the smart safety jacket built for San Francisco streets. LiDAR-linked sensors talk directly to autonomous vehicles, reflective armor, plus an air bubble defense that cushions against the unexpected.
Howdy there, friend. Welcome to the Museum of Casper, right here in the heart of Wyoming. This here's our pride and joy, a genuine trail, worn covered wagon. She carried dreams west and every spoke's got a story.
Right, levels are looking good here. Yeah, it's clean.
Love it.
Okay, that channel's locked in. Let's roll. We're live in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, yahoo! I've been doing this thing. So I put out probably a few months ago, my girlfriend and I decided we're going to put out a hummingbird feeder. Dog, this thing has become a neighborhood trend. Now my neighbors have all caught on, right? So they've all got one, and we decided to get 2 more. So now it's like back and forth. It's like neighborhood hummingbird wars. Like full on, we're doing neighborhood hummingbird wars. And if you want something simple, if you got kids maybe, and you want something easy, like a low maintenance pet, get a hummingbird feeder. Get one hummingbird feeder, put it up, make sure it's red. Make sure it's red. Dude, this could be a horror movie called Hummingbirds. And it's just a guy like on his deathbed going, get a hummingbird feeder. Make it red. Make it red. And then it's called The Hummingbird Man. And there's going to be multiple, 1, 2, 3. ChatGPT, write me a movie on The Hummingbird Man. And that's what people are doing now. Anyways, guys, the hummingbird feeder, one of the coolest things you can get for just your enjoyment. You just look at it. I got one on Amazon. Dude, beautiful. And they're not very expensive. You can get like multi-packs of them, which we did. I got one. I was like, fuck, one is cool. Why don't we get more? And my girlfriend's like, don't do it. Don't do it. She didn't say that at all. She was really up for it. She's like, yeah, let's get more and see what it is. But now it's like, dude, there's 100 hummingbirds coming to the crib. Like they're just all at the house. And like, we can't keep up. Like they went and told their friends. They're like little crackheads too, dude. They'll be coming around. There's like fat ones that protect it. There's like one fat one that like sits up at the top and he won't let anybody else get juice. So then they all go to this other one. And it's like, dude, I'm doing my best. They're like little street ones. They're not, because, my aunt that I was telling you I went to visit in Vacaville, she's got this cool yard with like all this greenery and shrubbery and trees, natural trees. I'm in the middle of fucking Hollywood, dude. They don't have I have like the hood ones. Like they're like brown. They're like kind of uglier colors. Hers, my aunts were all like vibrant and pink and red. And mine are like little fucking, one of them had a tattoo. This motherfucker had a tattoo. I said, how'd you get that tattoo? He went, and he just bounced, bro. And they're like little crackheads, dude. They come and then they're like pissed when you don't have the water. They keep coming. Like one of them like looked at me and was like, wait, what the fuck is the water? And I was like, dude, they kind of like bully you. I went out there and one of them tried to punk me. Like it came right to my face. I was like, well, it a little scared me a little bit. It's straight up like that, bro. I'm telling you, these birds are gangsters, dude. Like multiple of them. And they got little gangs too. They all hang out like on the, they'll hang out on the telephone wires and you can see them like peeping it. And they'll be watching like, is he putting it out? He put it out. And then one of them went, he put it out, fool. And then they all start rushing it, dude. And it's weird. They'll go from one, so we have 3 of them. And then they'll go, like one usually gets guarded by this fat one, dude, that I'm thinking about taking out. I don't know how I got to catch him or something and like transport him somewhere else and be like, dude, you took everybody's food. Or at least put him on trial, like a little hummingbird trial, like, hey, this fucking bird, he took everybody's juice. And then the other hummingbirds are like, yeah, we should get rid of him. And then I'll do like a trial for them where he's on, we will have a jury of like 12 hummingbirds that like get to decide, shall we kick this one out or did he learn his lesson? And if he didn't, we kick him out. We transport him somewhere else where the nectar ain't so easy. But yeah, do you guys ever have hummingbird feeders? Have you ever had a hummingbird feeder? What's been your experience? Sometimes they're hard to keep up with, so you just forget about it, because if you get a lot of hummingbirds, they drink the shit like once a day. So you got to kind of continue on with it. Luckily, my girlfriend's on top of it. She loves cooking food for him. And then my neighbors got them. So like we're all competing, like who's got the juice. And so like I haven't told them, but I'm like adding a little more sugar than I should. Because they love that sweet nectar. But if you put too much, it gets like bad quickly. So you can't do too much. But they're like, dude, they're all hopped up. And we've noticed they're getting bigger. Like we have the biggest they're almost like pigeons until their arms can't keep up. Dude, when their arms can't keep up with them, they're going to be fudged, dude. Arms. They're called wings, bro. I love doing that, dude. Like calling a puppy's paw a hand. Do it to people, dude. If you have, like, you're like anywhere out and somebody's got a dog and you go, let me see his hand, and then see if they correct you. That's the kind of guy you're dealing with. This is the type of shit I do. I'll be like, let me see your dog's hand. And they go, it's a paw. And I go, because I know I'm messing with them. And I know I've talked about this before, but this was my all-time. This is the type of like sicko I am. If I'm driving with somebody in the car, like on a long road trip, I'll just start going until they look to see if the window's cracked a little. And then I'll go, and it's just for me. A lot of stuff I'll do just for me like that.
Dude, I got these crows in my neighborhood just destroying a leftover box of In-N-Out from a dumpster.
Crows are
I mean,
smart,
these
dude. Crows
things
are big and they're
big.
smart.
RFK Jr. trains them or something.
RFK Jr.
trains by crows.
Dude, imagine your crow speaks in the tone of RFK Jr. Dude, did I tell you?
Oh, he has ravens. My bad. Dude.
Oh
I'll
my
shut up.
God. Fuck. Who was it? Oh, this is kind of a funny tour story from when me and Theo were on tour. We were in Arkansas. We were doing like a SEC tour, like of all the colleges, you know, and we were performing at you know, several different big colleges, and we were in Arkansas. We work out, really dope facility. You know, the players come and hang out, and they love seeing Theo, and they're showing us around and stuff. So we get a quick little workout in, and then we're leaving, and up comes on the golf cart Coach Pittman, who's the football coach for Arkansas, the Razorbacks. And these guys are like big deals, you know, and these communities are huge. So he pulls up, respected dude, and Theo starts talking to him. He's like, hey, Theo, man, I love you. Like, you know, I love your stuff and blah, blah, blah. And then we get to talking, and I'm standing there, obviously. And then he goes, this was super funny. He goes, so how long have you known Bobby? You know, and for whatever reason, you know, we both go to Bobby Kennedy, like, you know, Robert Kennedy. And Theo's like, oh man, you know, we've been pals for a long time. And then I start doing an impression of him. I go, did you get your vaccine, you cocksucker? Dude, to Coach Pittman, who's this older dude, I'm going like, did you get your fucking vaccine, you little cocksucker? And he's like looking at me like, what the fuck? Like super confused. And he goes, Bobby. And he was talking about Bobby Lee. Like he wasn't even talking about Robert Kennedy or anything like that. And I don't know why both of our minds just went to it. It was a really funny moment. And then Theo talked about it that night, got a huge fucking response from the crowd. But it was pretty interesting, dude. Sometimes I'll be way off in conversation, dude. And that was one of those situations. All right. Well, guys, I got some other news too, man, that might be interesting for you guys. My girlfriend got the measles. The measles. You heard that right? Like it's 1912, dude. And it was quite an experience, man. I felt so bad for her. And the situation was her sister, and the reason why you're probably asking yourself, the measles, how the fuck? Why wouldn't you get the vaccine? Well, her sister, her older sister, when she was born, she got vaccinated for everything. And I guess one of the vaccines she had a really bad reaction to, and she almost died. And so her mom was like, there's no chance in hell that I'm going to get the next, you know, batch of vaccines or whatever for my, you know, next child or whatever. And so my girl didn't get the vaccine. And, you know, you thought nothing of it. It's been eradicated for a while, right? Measles. Who the fuck has measles? And then recently it's been going around again. I guess somehow it got, you know, back in the mix, which has been in the news as well. And my girl's a firefighter, right? So she was like back home on a shift, and she apparently was exposed at one of her calls. Like she was helping a patient out that later turned out tested positive for measles. So her captain or chief or whatever called when she came back to my place in California and was like, hey, by the way, you know, that call we went on, the patient tested positive for measles. And we both were just like, oh, okay, cool. Like, you know, and she was like, I was just, you know, around them for a little bit. I took vitals and I had a mask on and stuff when I did it and gloves on and all that. So how bad, you know, how contagious could it be? We didn't think anything of it. And I guess the incubation period is 21 days. So from the time that you get exposed to like the time you can come down with symptoms is 21 days. So we're like 2 weeks in, nothing, you know, we're not even thinking about it. Like we just got the call, didn't think anything of it. Then all of a sudden, literally like on the last like fucking couple days that you could get, whatever symptoms, she comes down with just like a little bit of a, like flu-like symptoms. So we're thinking, okay, she's just got the flu or whatever. And it's a rough couple days. And then it just gets worse. It just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. And we're like, what the hell's going on? So I end up having to take her to the hospital, which was a whole nother fiasco on its own. So we go to the emergency room. And by then we're starting to figure out like, hey, this is measles. Like she got exposed. All the symptoms are there. The rash is coming now. And she's like in a lot of pain, like super, it's brutal. Like as an adult to get it, I guess it's like 10 times worse than if you're a child and get it. So I felt so bad for her, man. And so they're like, and they don't see too many cases like this. So the hospital we take her to, they're like sending people in. They have her like kind of in an isolated place, but there's no real protocol because no one even knows what the fuck to do, like with measles. So some people are coming in with masks. Some people don't have masks. Some people like, but I guess if you're vaccinated, you're good. And I'm with her. And from what I know at the time, I'm like, yeah, of course I got vaccinated. I'm an immigrant from Iran. I'm sure we had vaccines there. I have that little mark on my arm that give you like, fucking Iran gives you like 80 vaccines at one time when you're a baby. And I have the little scar on my arm to prove it. And I'm like, oh, I'm sure I got it there. And we immigrated here. So I'm sure when we got here, like they were like, hey, you have to get your vaccinations, which I went to school in Orange County and California, and the Orange County Unified School District or whatever, make sure you have all these vaccines. So I'm like, I know for a fact I've got it, but I can't, like, I don't have the proof. I don't have, the paperwork or whatever. So dude, I had to call the Orange County School District and like find out like what department has records. And I guess they have them, which was crazy. I called them within an hour. They sent me my a copy of like my certificate of all the vaccines I had. I was like, what the hell is tripping that they did it that fast? And they sent that to me. And luckily I was able to send that to the CDC, and they were threatening to put me on a no-fly list. That was the trippy part. They're like, hey, if you don't prove us that you have the vaccine, you got to stay home. And we see here through our research that you have shows coming up in Texas. I said, how the fuck do you guys know that? It freaked me out, dude. Like, I didn't tell them I was a comedian. I didn't tell them anything. And they somehow found out. I don't know if it was from my email, what it was, but they somehow found out that I'm a comedian. And then they're like threatening to put me on a no-fly list and quarantine, forced me to quarantine for 28 days, which was insane. And I have no symptoms, no nothing. Anyways, we get through all that shit, right? My girlfriend's mom comes down to take care of her while I'm on the road doing my stuff. And it turns out this thing lasts forever, dude. If you're an adult, it's really bad on you. So her mom decides she's going to get a hyperbaric chamber for her because they went to some doctor and it said like, oh, if you have a hyperbaric chamber for a month, it'll speed up the process. So we're like, okay. So now it gets to whatever this week. We're waiting for this hyperbaric chamber to show up. I guess you can rent them and then you have them in your house for a month and you use it every day. And if you use it every day, she'll recover faster. And this is my bone to pick. This is where I wanted to get to, Bax. The baking of the beans. We are waiting for this thing to come, right? And they're like, oh, and they do this everywhere. They'll say, hey, we're coming between this time and this time, right? Right? They always do this. And I know a lot of people have talked about this before, but that time frame they give you, dude, where they're like, hey, be home between 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. 12 hours, you motherfuckers. You can't give us a smaller time window? No, you got to be here from here to here. So me and my girl are sitting there. We're like, hey, do we wait for this thing? It's coming today. We don't want to leave this thing out. It's an expensive machine. We don't want to leave it outside in a box, right? So should we wait for it? But then in the morning we go, hey, we'll sneak out, do a quick 45-minute hour workout. We'll be back. Dude, we leave for 4 minutes. 4 minutes. And the fucking UPS guy, we get to the gym. We're about to start our workout. UPS guy, oh, we're there trying to deliver. How the fuck did you sneak in? How did you sneak in? In the amount of time that we pulled out of the garage to go to the freaking gym, the guy has pulled in and we didn't see this guy. So we cut the workout short, come home. It was like 9:15, dude. So this guy said from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and the motherfucker shows up 9:15. UPS, figure that out. And they always do it. You guys can comment if you've had a situation like that come up, because I have. Whether it's the Spectrum cable guy who's coming or a repair person that's coming, give us a tighter window. That's on behalf of all the listeners. Give us a tighter window. So we ended up coming back, boxes all jammed up on the stairs, just sitting there. And Hollywood's the type of place where you leave a fucking box out. Next thing you know, it's in a little homeless community and they're using it. So if you want to go down Cahuenga, you can see a bunch of homeless dudes in a hyperbaric chamber getting their maximum use out of it. You understand? So that's what could happen. Anyways, that's my gripe for today. My little saltiness take of the UPS deliveries. And yeah, thank you guys for tuning in today. I got real hot and sweaty over this one. I'll tell you that. I hope you guys are enjoying the podcast. Hope to see you guys out on tour. And we're bringing back segments. I asked for that last time, and people were talking about bringing back headlines with bounce lines. That was a request. We're going to do it. We'll bring it back next time. Thank you guys for tuning in. Love you all.